temp this morning for you. We are 51 at 93.5. 1590 WAKR. Going to the danger zone. Gives you a hint of where we're going. The film school today. With Dr. Joe Fortunato on board with us. So without further ado, let's bring him in. Joe Fortunato with us with Film School. Good morning, Joe. Take it from there.
Good morning, Rick. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, we've got kind of a big one today. It's actually a 40th anniversary of a lot of people's favorite film. That is Top Gun. Top Gun from 1986, released in May of 1986. As I said, we're celebrating its 40th anniversary, if you can believe that, this year, this month. Directed by Tony Scott, written by Jim Cash and Jack Epps. Of course, it stars Tom Cruise. And it had 4 Oscar nominations: sound editing, sound effects editing, and original song, Take My Breath Away. And it won for original song. So that's the one Oscar that Top Gun won, was Take My Breath Away. Massive, massive hit. In fact, it was the highest grossing movie of 1986. Yet, Jerry Bruckheimer and Don Simpson, the producers, had to convince Paramount Pictures to greenlight this film. It was a tough go at first. And I should also mention the line, "I feel the need for speed." That was ranked number 94 on AFI's list of 100 great movie quotes. As I mentioned, this was tough to get going at first. The Pentagon charged Paramount Pictures $1.8 million to use all their planes and aircraft carriers, but they wanted that realism. I didn't mention that Anthony Edwards was also a co-star of the film. He was actually the only actor that didn't vomit in the fighter jets. All the other actors that were in flight, including Tom Cruise, did get sick at one time or another. Just to give you a sense of some of the expenses here for the opening of the film, and fans of the film will remember this, Tony Scott wanted to shoot the aircraft taking off and landing backlit by the sun. It's a pretty iconic opening. Well, the carrier captain had to change course the ship. And when Scott asked how much it would cost to do that, he said, well, to turn the ship around, it's going to be $25,000. So he wrote a quick check to the captain so they could film for just another 5 minutes. Turned out the check bounced, but they got their footage anyway. And they also installed special cameras inside the F-14 planes to allow the filmmakers to use real aerial point of view footage of the fight. So that was, part of what was so exciting. This was such a big success on the writing on the film success. The Navy really capitalized on that, and they set up recruiting booths in the major cinemas to try and catch some of the, shall we say, adrenaline-charged guys leaving the screenings. And they had the highest application rate for years as a result of that tactic.
Wow. Top Gun, Tom Cruise, and, of course, a cast of characters. And speaking of that, Joe, it's a pretty good cast when you look at all these years later of who was in this movie.
It is. Now, because some of the cast, Val Kilmer, didn't really want to be in this film, but he was forced to by contractual obligations. And Kilmer did end up liking the movie, saying all in all, the movie was both a blast and an education. From the very beginning, the filmmakers wanted Tom Cruise to play Maverick, but he kept turning it down until producer Jerry Bruckheimer arranged for a ride in one of the Blue Angels, and that kind of convinced him, because this is great, I'm doing the movie. Some people that didn't quite make the cut for casting, Matthew Modine turned down the role of Maverick because he objected to the film's Cold War politics. Another list of who's who of the time, all were mentioned or considered for the role: Patrick Swayze, Nicolas Cage, Matthew Broderick, Sean Penn, Michael J. Fox, even Tom Hanks, Charlie Sheen. The list goes on, but you get the idea. A lot of them were considered for the role. John Travolta was also considered for the role of Maverick, but his agent's asking price was too high, especially because at that time, John Travolta had quite a bit of flops under his belt. He hadn't really rejuvenated his stardom as he did later. On the female side, Brooke Shields and Deborah Winger were strongly considered for the role of Charlie, that went to Kelly McGillis. Tatum O'Neal, Jodie Foster, Daryl Hannah were also considered. Even Carrie Fisher was considered for the role.
Interesting. And, of course, also in that movie, you had Meg Ryan, and you go on, and it was just a great book.
Well, Meg Ryan and Anthony Edwards actually became an item after the filming concluded, so they had a little bit of a romance. So worked out for them on a personal level.
Joe, how much, I know you touched on certainly the filming and such with the jets. Was a lot of this actually out in the water on the landing pads and such, or not?
Yeah, I mean, they used the locations whenever they could.
Uh-huh.
And, like I said, they did get the help of the U.S. Navy at a cost, of course, but
Sure.
it worked out for both the filmmakers and the Navy because it was a terrific recruiting tool. The film is also interestingly credited with starting the home video industry because originally VH tapes were priced at $100 when they first came out. Some people might remember that. And they were sold mainly to video stores so they could be rented. This film was priced upon release at a reasonable rate, making it possible for consumers just to buy the movie and take it home, which was then an unusual practice. And of course, it became standard in the industry. And another little fun fact, Tom Cruise had never ridden a motorcycle until this film. That's a little hard to believe because I feel like we see him riding motorcycles all the time in his films. But allegedly, he had never ridden a motorcycle until this film. And they went out to a place called the House of Motorcycles in El Cajon, California to learn. And he taught him in the parking lot right there in their shop.
I love that little tidbit. Top Gun, as Joe mentioned, celebrating a big anniversary, 40 years this coming summer. And, of course, they did Maverick. And I don't know, I heard a couple of weeks ago, Joe, I don't know, you're on the end more than I am. I heard there might be another Maverick coming.
I have not heard that, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Dr. Joe Fortunato with us with Film School each and every Friday at this time. Now, Joe, in the next couple of weeks, is going to be back out on June 23rd. Talk about that, Joe.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I've been teasing this for a while, but I didn't have the details to announce, and now I do. The next time I'll be out doing Fortunato Film School live will be June 23rd. We are going to be doing Raiders of the Lost Ark, and that is June 23rd. That's a Tuesday at 5 p.m. This is a free event, and it's a special event for the Friends of the Adult Guardianship Services. That's a wonderful organization here in Akron, and they're doing this to celebrate their volunteers, and they're opening it up to the public. So anybody who wants to join in on the fun, come see Raiders of the Lost Ark with me and a bunch of your friends, and we'll do Fortunato Film School. And that, again, is June 23rd. That's going to be at the Courtyard by Marriott on 41 Furness Street in Akron, Ohio. That's right there downtown. And that's, like I said, this is a really great event sponsored by a wonderful organization, and there will be refreshments there, and the event is free, and you can find out all about it on my website, joefortunato.net. That's joefortunato.net, and we'd like to see a bunch of people come out for that one.
Joe, are you asking for reservations there just to make sure you got seating and refreshments or not?
Reservations would help. The RSVP line for reservations is area code 330-812-3840. And like I said, you can also email them. I'll put that information on the website, and it's going to be a great event.
All right, 330-812-38 to make your reservations. That's June 23rd as Joe takes Film School on the road again with Raiders of the Lost Ark. And, of course, Joe takes time out of his busy week to join us Friday mornings for Film School here on the Ray Horner Morning Show. Joe, as always, my friend, thank you for making the time, and we'll do it again next week.
I look forward to it. See you then.
All right, Joe. Dr. Joe Fortunato joining us live this morning here on WAKR.